everyone, this is Nana and welcome back to Ejima. Okay, so today I'm going to be talking about how I moved to Charlotte without a job, and if you're interested, stay tuned. Alright, so everyone, this is a question I got asked a lot, even by people that, not necessarily on YouTube, just in general. A lot of people, the first thing they want to know when you're telling them you're moving somewhere, everyone's curious. Oh, did you find a job? Where are you going to be working? Did you get a job? Did you get a job? And to the point, it was just kind of like, so I guess you're only supposed to move if you have a job. Makes sense, right? But I did not move with a job. Okay, I moved to Charlotte in August. I got a job in October, ended of October, almost November. I was just at a point that I just wanted to move and I wasn't gonna let not having a job stop me. Granted, I wasn't honestly really applying that seriously for a job because it's like, I felt it just easier to get to know the environment first, move into a place first, know like where around what area I would be applying to based on where I live. But honestly, it could be the opposite as well. You know where you're gonna work, so then you start looking for apartments based on the environment you're going to be working in. But for me, I felt a little bit more security because of the type of field that I am in, and I just felt as if worst come to worst, I may not get a job I really like or care about, but I know that hopefully I'll get something. So I know it's not for everyone. I'm not going to advise everyone to do that because I know there are some fields and some sectors that is really not easy to find another job. So you might be sitting around for months and months and months, and how are you gonna pay your bills? How are you going to pay rent if you're not working? So it worked out for me, but that doesn't necessarily mean that it's going to work out for everyone. So some reasons why I moved without a job. Like I mentioned, first and foremost, I was just tired. I was just tired of my environment. I was tired of being in New Jersey. And even with the pandemic going on, it kind of made me sometimes a little uneasy, and I thought maybe I should wait on it and just, take my time. But then I just realized one day, I was like, coronavirus is not going anywhere. The pandemic is not gonna stop overnight. You know what I mean? Things may take years to ever get back to some type of normal. So does that mean that I'm never going to move? I didn't have a car at the time because I got an accident the year before. So we flew down, me and my mom came with me. We flew down from New Jersey. The flight was like basically empty. So this was early August when a lot of people weren't really traveling, to be honest. Nothing compared to the flights I've been on in October, September, November. It's just like, wow. Like people have really just been like, can't stop my life, I have to do what I have to do. So the flight was empty when we flew. I rented a car for a couple of days, got some stuff, and that was it. Honestly, I had saved for a while. Like that's the thing, like people aren't always gonna tell you the truth. They're not gonna tell you 100% how they do the things they do. So I definitely think it's very, very important that we not get caught up in like the social media, including YouTubers or people online you see doing things. You don't know how they're getting the money they're using to do the things they're doing. You don't know if people are sponsoring them. You don't know if their parents are giving them money. You know what I mean? Like you don't know how they're getting their money. So that's one thing I always tell people, like just because I did something, I'm not gonna go around and tell everyone around me, oh, do it. Oh, I did it, you can do it. Or when I did it, you should do it. No, I understand that everyone's situation is different. Some people just aren't really risk takers. Like for me, I wouldn't call myself a risk taker, but I also compared to people I know, I realize I am kind of a risk taker, if that makes sense. Like I will take a risk. What's the worst that's gonna happen? I make a mistake. I learn from my experience. My life moves on. Yeah, there's certain mistakes I don't want to make, but I feel as if sometimes to grow, you have to make mistakes. And you're never going to get to that level of success, or you're never going to get to that level of experience if you're so scared to make big steps. And I felt as if like, because the whole thing was a bit, when I told people, they thought I was crazy. And I was like, okay, Nana, you're doing something right. You're doing something good. You're doing something different. Because people looking at me like I lost my mind. Wait, you're moving? Who do you know there? Are you going there for a job? Are you going there? Do you have a friend there? Do you have them? Like, no. Only thing I can say, I don't know if I mentioned it before on my channel, I do have 3 half sisters that live about 45 minutes from Charlotte. So that's why Charlotte always stuck out to me, because I would come to Charlotte Airport. Like I've been there a couple of times, and then I came to Charlotte. Only time I really came to Charlotte on my own and experienced on my own was in October of 2019. So it's not like it's somewhere I've been going to every year since I was young or something like that. No. You know, but I was just like, I do want to go somewhere different. And I was between Texas, Georgia, and North Carolina. I picked North Carolina, Charlotte specifically, because I felt like if it wasn't too far away from New Jersey. The flight's like an hour and 15 minutes. And I was like, you know, let me transition myself to Southern life. You know what I mean? I think maybe Jersey to Texas, like, it might be a bit, like a bit too much. You know, not like it's impossible, but I was like, you know, let me adjust slowly. So like, I'll start off with Charlotte, and if I eventually wanted to move somewhere else, I could always move somewhere else in the South. But I'll be more like accustomed to what I say, or like equipped. Like, I'll just be more used to that Southern life or that Southern vibe. So yeah, back to what I was saying before. It's just something that I feel as if everyone has to make the decisions for themselves. You know how much money you have in savings. I do not believe you need to have thousands and thousands of dollars to move. That's just my personal opinion, because it depends what you want to do when you move. You don't need to fully furnish your apartment in the first month that you move. Like, that's just my personal opinion. Like, you don't need to do all of that. Yeah, if you have the money to do it, go for it, get it over with, you know, especially because I wasn't working, I had a lot of time. But you don't necessarily have to do that. Like, you know, there's people who don't have barely any furniture in their apartment and they're still living. You know what I mean? Like, you have to me, the most important thing is make sure you can pay your rent. You have money after paying your rent, you can pay all the bills that come with having an apartment. You know, like, you can, you know, just do those basic things. But that's just me. Some people have a certain amount they want in their mind. I get it, because when you moving can be very expensive for a typical person that moves. For me, I didn't have any furniture I brought. I didn't have a car I brought. Like, I didn't bring, it was a bit easier for me because I just got on the plane with like 2 suitcases and came here. Then eventually when I kept going back to Jersey, I would bring like a suitcase each time. So for me, it was a lot of things I just had to buy straight up. I didn't have to like use movers or pay movers or anything like that. So it wasn't, I don't know, to each his own, but that's just my experience. Like I said, I just really don't advise people to necessarily look at other people, what they're doing. Like, for example, I'm a nurse, so I know that in my field, especially during the pandemic time, getting a job is not like impossible. You get what I'm saying? Like, if I really wanted to get a job within like a few weeks of moving here, I would have got one. But I was being a bit selective because I know the type of job that I want. I know the type of atmosphere I want to be in. I know the type of benefits I'm looking for. I know the type of social life I want. I know the type of schedule I want. You know, so those are other things that I feel like why it took me a couple of months. And honestly, I didn't really start applying to jobs until like the end of August when I moved here. So literally, I can't sit here and say, oh, I was applying for weeks, I didn't get anything. I actually got one interview before I got this job for like a work from home job for like a pharmaceutical company, and I didn't get it. The second job I interviewed for, I got it. So within 2 interviews, I got a job. So it was a bit different from my experience because I was looking for a different type of job. I was kind of selective in the type of nursing jobs I wanted to personally work. That's just me. Like, you know, I just have like, I'm in public health. I wanted to stay in public health. I like public health. So that's majority of what I was applying to. And that's not the typical nursing job. You know, there's less options when you want to be in that field. Yeah. So yeah, just let me know in the comment section, would you guys move without a job? What sector are you in? That's a big thing. Like, what type of field are you in? And do you think you could take that step and move somewhere without a job? Or does it depend where you're moving? For example, Charlotte is known for being big like in banking. So let's say you're in banking. Would you move to Charlotte without having a job secure? Just let me know. Is it risky behavior? Because I didn't really look at it like it's, oh my gosh, such a big deal. But when I would tell people about the way they would react to me, I'd be like, yeah, Nana, you're doing something that's kind of out of the ordinary. You're doing something that is a bit weird, that is not usual, that most people would never, ever do. And I definitely understand. I definitely get it. It's not for everyone. And that's the thing too, I did have money coming in, right? Like, I did have money coming in. So that's the thing. Like, I don't think I would have moved and made that step if I had no type of income coming in, just with my savings move. I don't think I would do that. But there are people that do that. There's people that move with no savings. There's people who move with there's people that have credit card debt and just get up and move and like, I just need, because technically you could pay your rent with a credit card. I'm just saying, like, I've never done it. I hope to never do it, but technically they just charge you. I see all the time when it's time to pay rent. I'm like, that's interesting. Like, they're just going to charge you a service fee of a certain, like, I think it's like 3% or something, but technically you could pay your rent with a credit card. So let me know, y'all, would you guys move to a different city without a job? And let me know what field you're in and if that is part of the reason why you would or you wouldn't. All right, well, I'll talk to you guys later. Again, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe, and bye.